Eastern Conference. They get off the snide with a victory. They got Kentucky coming up this weekend at Jordan-Hare Stadium. LSU decides, you know what, this Brian Kelly experiment, it has gone wrong. Let's move on, kick the can. That's what they have done at a tune of around $53 million. So we've been talking about that. What does that mean, if anything, about some potential candidates at LSU? Would that stop certain other schools in the conference from potentially making a move? Our three-man front Twitter poll question of the day, we just simply asked you, who is the next SEC head coach to lose their job? Because we've already had three. We gave you two options: Mark Stoops at Kentucky or Hugh Freeze at Auburn. And so far, at 56% of the vote, our audience says Hugh Freeze will be the next Southeastern Conference coach to be fired. Mark Stoops at 44%.
Yeah. I don't know. I said that I thought that Hugh Freeze would make it towards the end of the season, but as Wimp reminded everyone when he joined us on Friday, that there are conversations happening, and you better know that you've got a guy in place and at least a verbal worked out before you get rid of what you have and blow the whole thing up. So what does that mean? Potentially, there's only so many coaches that we're talking about. Unless there's one who is unhappy somewhere else and he's considered an elite coach, Pat, and he's unhappy and he has let his representation reach out to certain folks and say, hey, I would be very interested in looking at this job.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Who is that guy? Remains to be seen.
So the Southeastern Conference, just moments ago, they have announced the television schedule for not this week because that's been set, but it's the very next week, November the 8th. An 11 a.m. kickoff in Starkville, Mississippi for Georgia and Mississippi State. That's either going to be on ABC or ESPN. At noon, the Citadel at Ole Miss. That's an SEC network game. At 2:30 on ABC, it will be Texas A&M at Missouri. That'll be interesting. Auburn and Vanderbilt in Nashville. That is slated for a 3 o'clock kickoff in Music City. That is on the SEC network. So 3 o'clock for Auburn in Nashville. LSU Bama, that is the primetime game at 6:30 on ABC. And the SEC network primetime game will be Florida at Kentucky. So that is the slate of games that the SEC just announced moments ago for the television and kickoff times for November the 8th.
We'll continue with your text and your phone calls this Reaction Monday. This is for you, 800-239-WJOX or 205-834-9450 on the text line. That's where we go now. And someone coming on and say, it was Darren from Tennessee saying, I like the guy and his fire he has. What's the hype with Sumrall? He has been a head coach for a very short period of time. He's a guy that knows the landscape, the region. He did wonderfully in winning championships at Troy. He is doing wonderfully in his short time at Tulane. His reputation among high school coaches, college coaches, everyone speaks the world of him and think that he is certainly more than an up-and-comer, that he's very good. And who are the other hot names right now? Who are those hot names that are out there? There's not a ton.
Just go and listen to the guy talk. There's plenty of examples you can find of him talking about essentially how he motivates his team, what he looks for in players. And if you are a fan of the old school, I guess, style of college football now, John Sumrall is a guy that you will be a big fan of.
And this is not a guy that went to programs that said, hey, we have a buku of money and you're going to be able to have a leg up on the rest of the people in your conference. No, he is doing it with less. And yes, he is still doing it at Tulane with less and finding creative ways to get players to come and play for him, and they buy in, as you mentioned.
About to say, all he does is win.
Talk.
He wins.
Evan says he's waiting on Tommy Reese's name to pop up on all these short lists.
I do think it's fascinating that at the beginning of the year, after the Florida State game, Tommy Rees was the top candidate, in those reported odds for Alabama, but he hasn't been brought up for any of these other jobs. That is kind of interesting.
Jimmy says maybe Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat because he hasn't focused more on length and girth. Where did that one go? Forgot about that one. Mark says John Sumrall to Kentucky.
That'd be a home run for Kentucky.
Yeah, it would. I would just, if I was John Sumrall and I turned when Mama called and I said, no thanks, just say, look, I love my memories there in Lexington. Very fond of everything that UK stands for. I'm just worried that this might come between us at some point. I'm going to take this other job.
Oh, if I'm John Sumrall, I'm not taking the job.
No.
But if you're Kentucky and he says yes, then you would be thrilled.
The problem is your natural replacement for Mark Stoops has always been John Sumrall. Now there are other schools potentially wanting to pay him a lot of money to coach there.
May have waited a season too long if you're Kentucky.
Yes. How many calls will Ryan Grubb get?
Not as many after this weekend, but still a good bit.
Who was the last FBS coach to be fired with a winning record on the season?
Probably don't have to go back very far, honestly.
Was Gus's final year, was that a winning season? Trying to remember. No, it wasn't. Was it?
That would have been 20.
Was it 2020? Yeah.
Trying to remember.
It was the 2020 season.
They were 6-4, right? In 2020?
Yep, they went 6-4.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm sure there's been one between them.
Someone wondering how long Jeremy Pruitt has left on his show cause.
Next year, right? That he could return?
Travis says a lot of Bama fans are down about the game Saturday at South Carolina. This off week or bye week will prove that Alabama is one of the best teams in the country, so Bama fans just chill out. Travis and Sulligent says roll tide.
Well, here's the thing. According to ESPN Analytics, Alabama has at least a 72% chance to win the remaining games on their schedule. That's pretty strong. 72%.
Red in Tuscaloosa. The O-line at Bama is one of the worst I've seen in decades, especially the run blocking. 74. Proctor is absolutely the worst left tackle in the game. How's he a top 10 prospect? That's unbelievable. I just read them.
He's a running back now, right?
Fullback.
Someone saying Auburn is at least as good as Florida, if not better, with a job. Auburn's sandwiched between Alabama and Georgia, the two best schools in SEC in football. It's not a top-tier job.
I think the Auburn job is very good. I was just making I think if I were to have to pick between the two, I would take Florida, but I think Auburn's a very good job.
Okay, so give me your SEC top five.
Because if I think Lane Kiffin's better off staying in Oxford than going to Gainesville, then
desirable jobs. Give me the top five.
I think that's fair. I would go Georgia 1. I would probably go Georgia 1, LSU 2, Alabama 3, Texas and Texas A&M. That'd be my top 5.
So then you would have Florida 6, Auburn 7?
Yeah, it would probably go about that way. Well, no, I'd have Oklahoma above both of those.
Do you have Ole Miss a better job than Auburn?
I think the Auburn job is better, but I think the circumstances at Ole Miss right now are better. So you could argue that it's a better job now.
Lane Kiffin has made Ole Miss a good job.
Absolutely.
Hugh Freeze didn't make Auburn a good job.
Is South Carolina a better job than Auburn?
No.
Is Liberty a better job than Auburn?
No, it's not. It is not.
Is Oklahoma State a better job than Auburn?
No.
Sacramento State.
Well, now you piqued my interest.
If you don't have to coach a game in the FBS.
How much do you like Ajayi Hall? That'll change your answer.
And
Auburn
how long?
is a good job.
And how long before Brent Venables and his name in that Oklahoma job appears to be coming open? Look at that schedule.
This thing could get off the rails very quickly for them.
You got LSU potentially staring what in the face? 7-5.
Texas, Oklahoma, and LSU could all go 7-5.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Texas A&M. Ooh.
They're good, man.
Someone saying Auburn, as usual, will be late to the party. I feel they were hold on to Freeze for now. Good call or bad call. And I feel UF is more desirable job. They're about the same when it comes to giving you plenty of time, opportunities to win there.
Yeah, somebody threw out Tennessee. I forgot about them. I think Tennessee's probably a better job than Florida and Auburn right now, too. I think those are all kind of in a similar spot, though. Splitting hairs a little bit.
Keep the text rolling in. We got a lot more of them. Love your creativity. 205-834-9450.
So do you remember that one play in the Alabama game on the punt when Mbakwe,
Yeah, where's a fumble for South Carolina?
where it hit Mbakwe and then, of course, South Carolina? It's pretty interesting. If you follow Terry McCullough, do you know who he is? He's the former NFL official. He's the one that had a problem about the SEC suspending. Did you see what he wrote about that particular play?
I did. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I did.
So for those that missed it, according to Terry McCullough, he says there are actually two issues on that particular play. One, it is a foul for an illegal block in the back. That's South Carolina pushing Mbakwe in the back. He says that's the first problem. The second problem, he says the receiving team player being blocked is considered passive since he is not actively engaged with the kicking team player. That block forces him into the ball. Since he is considered passive, he is deemed not to have touched the ball. Assuming no one else from the receiving team touched the ball before the kickers, the ball should belong to the receiving team at the spot of the kicking team recovery. So according to McCauley, he was a longtime NFL ref, but he was also a director of officials, I believe, in the American Conference and another conference. He says that the SEC refs blew that call and that Alabama should have been rewarded the ball at that particular place where Mbakwe, where the ball was touched.
Mm-hmm.
So was the referee suspended? Do we know? Have they been banned from ever officiating an SEC game?
Not that I've seen, no.
Okay. I'm just curious if we'll see a press release from the SEC or a story by Yellowhammer News about the officiating crew not being able to work their next game. Because that was a pretty big play.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big turning point. So, yeah, according to McCauley, there were two issues on that play that the SEC officiating crew completely missed.
Yep. I'm not going to say it.
Hope nobody loses their job.
I've made enough people mad in the past 20 minutes. I'm not going to say that.
Who are you making mad?
Just people.
Are you mad at him?
No.
Okay.
Why would I be mad?
I mean, y'all got a little hot a minute ago about Auburn and Florida.
Oh, I wasn't getting hot.
It's a good conversation.
I asked the question.
We can have a differing of opinion and
like
still respect each other's opinion.
Yeah, I feel like I had a good closing argument.
You did. It was factual, and you were right.
And I was correct. 205-834-9450. Some people not agreeing though, and now Alabama is being circled in. How is it a top 5 job?
Oh my God.
Hubert needs to stay at AU for now, says the bug guy. 2 SEC jobs better than Auburn. Hire an actual OC, be a CEO. I think players actually like him. Give Durkin a raise. Give Atkins and Pleasant a raise. Pay Cam and Singleton. Pay Cobb. But who's going to be running the offense? So are you going to fire Ken Austin and Derek Nix just in this scenario? And Hugh Freeze is going to run that program, but he was brought in because of his innovation on offense, yet he still hasn't got that conundrum figured out. I don't know. Why? He's the only one that can recruit to Auburn? No, that's probably not the case. I'm just asking, why would you want to continue if?
No, very fair. Very fair. You hired him to do one thing. He's not doing that thing well, so why would you let him go hire somebody else to do that thing?
Is Gus back on the Auburn bus? No. I won't read the rest of it, but no. I was waiting for someone else to say it, but Proctor is the most overrated offensive tackle in the league. My question is, can you name 3 more? He's the only offensive tackle that anybody talks about.
Look, I'll
That's
give
the way
you
it
this. For
feels.
the people, well, and I understand some people feel like, you've heard about him being, the greatest left tackle of all time for 3 years. And he's not, but he's very good. He's very good. I think there's about 133 other programs out there that would probably take him as their left tackle.
The officiating fiasco, according to this listener, is going to help Freeze retain his job in 2026. If Freeze finishes with only 1 loss to Bama, he's fine. What if the Oklahoma people played on the other way with Venables? Yeah, you finished 75, but you should have been 66. We know that Auburn should have beaten you.
I think one of the big winners yesterday was honestly Hugh Freeze, not just because of the win over Arkansas, but I mean, seriously, if you're Auburn now, if these jobs keep opening, you might be more inclined to keep Hugh Freeze for another year because you don't know who you can get.
So, I mean, if Sumrall is taken off the table and you decide to get rid of Hugh Freeze, what's your legitimate options outside of DJ Durkin?
That's a great question. If you don't want to go with a Gus retread, I can't see that happening.
I don't think Rhett Lashley is leaving SMU for Auburn.
And I don't think Auburn's beating his door down either to leave.
See, it'd be the same thing. I think Lashley and Kenny Dillingham are the same.
I would have thought Lashley, the most likely move would have been to Arkansas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You think Bobby Petrino lost a little bit of traction for that job on Saturday?
4 possessions in the fourth quarter, 4 turnovers. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to tune in because that was going to be, it looks like it's going to be Bobby Petrino. Look at this offense. And then you score, 3 points in the second half and your offense falls apart.
I mean, outside the pick 6, you were averaging 37 points a game. Your offense scored 17. Not a great endorsement for
So I went to the
Bobby
Arkansas
P.
sites afterwards, and it was, the flip side of a Bobby Petrino 2.0 is the second half collapse that we saw with the offense. And then they started bringing up games in his first tenure.
Yeah.
It's just funny how it works.
I mean, he's 0-3.
But they're so close. They're so
He
close.
almost beat Texas A&M, Pat. Almost.
This is the season I think I'm going to name the so close season. The season that was so close. Penn State, Florida, and LSU will take a step down with their next hires, guaranteed, Mark says. Someone is saying that it looked like Shane Beamer was trying to poach an Alabama quarterback after the game. Conrad?
Yeah, I saw some people talking about that. I didn't. I'll be honest, I did not see the clip of Shane Beamer and Keelan Russell having a conversation. But I did see him and Kalen DeBoer having a conversation after they walked off the field, and Kalen DeBoer showing him, hey, it's not over till it's over. This is evidence right here. So, look, if he wants to go somewhere else, he can go somewhere else. I mean, I'm sorry, but as a college football fan of your team, I don't know how you don't have that attitude about anybody. If they can be bought, then why do you want them on your team? Let them go.
Well,
it's fine.
but it also, and this is different, but for the people saying, oh, but look at this player, or look at this. What happens to this player if the coach leaves? What happens if he stays?
Fair point.
Are there any guarantees anymore? No.
Fair point.
Someone's saying that Kalen DeBoer shut it down real fast. He
Okay.
saw the flirting and he stopped. He stopped it.
Okay.
Just reading him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw a bunch of people commenting on that on social media and stuff. I didn't really see it, so.
Proctor is a great left offensive tackle in the games he doesn't take off, somebody says. And JR saying it wasn't Beamer, it was a South Carolina assistant.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you're the head coach, you can't get called doing it.
That's right. That's what you have the analyst for.
Yes. 205-834-9450. Keep the text rolling in. We are going to hear from Hugh Freeze about an hour and 10 minutes from right now. Be interesting to see what the Auburn coach says looking ahead to this weekend's game. No Kalen DeBoer today as the Tide enjoying a bye week after the win over South Carolina. We'll get to more of your texts, more of your phone calls. What is Vegas saying about the next coach to be fired, hired? We'll get to all of that and more. The college football discussion continues this Reaction Monday on 3 Man Front. Three-man front Reaction Monday. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, Molly. Thanks for tuning in. Whether it's Jocks Mobile, Jocks Montgomery, Jocks up in North Alabama and Huntsville on the the Jocks app, wherever you listen, wherever you stream. We're here for you every single day. We appreciate all of you out there. Also, you all watching there on Jocks TV on YouTube. We appreciate you viewing the show every single day. How about our friends at Mandu? I tell you about electrical muscle stimulation fitness all the time. I can tell you that it's safe. I can tell you that it's not painful. You might have some muscle soreness, but you know what that means? That means that it's working, right? Electrical muscle stimulation fitness at Mandu. It's the equivalent of a workout that you would normally have to achieve the results in 6 hours in a gym. You're going to get it in 15 minutes because of that technology that's all FDA approved. Mandu, right there in downtown Homewood, boutique fitness at its best. You're going to get results. Your first visit is free. They'll actually put you through the workout. 10% off if you mention Jocks when you get into Mandu. 15% off if you're a student and you mention Jocks. Get in there today. MANDUU.com. That's the website. You can learn more. They got videos, all kinds of stuff, testimonials you can find at MANDUU.com. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jocks sent you.
So some news out of Austin, Texas today. It appears that Arch Manning is in concussion protocol, as we'll have to wait and see. It was interesting because one of the beat writers, they were covering Steve Sarkisian in the program. They asked him what would be the cutoff day in regards to Arch Manning being able to play against Vanderbilt this weekend. And Steve Sarkisian kind of opened the door pretty much of like, if he's available Saturday, he's going to play. So may not practice this week, but if he comes out of concussion protocol, I think he's your guy against Vanderbilt. That's a huge game. I mean, they're only a 2.5-point favorite at home against a very spunky Vanderbilt team who got a big win at home against Missouri over the weekend. So, yeah, they better be ready.
And it's a Vanderbilt team you were lucky to beat in Nashville last year, if you remember that.
Yep.
And you look at Vanderbilt this year, they're a better team. I don't think anybody who has played them would argue that. And it's a team that absolutely has confidence they can go in there, they can win on the road. They've won big on the road already. They did it at Williams-Brice early in the season and named their score.
Well, and y'all love to poo-poo on Texas more than anybody because I would never say anything negative about them. But
of course not.
It's pretty crazy to think that as disappointing as they have been, I mean, if you win the rest of your games, you're still going to be in line to somehow make a college football playoff, which is hard to believe. I don't think they're going to do that because of how difficult their schedule still is. But I mean, this is a massive game.
Big time. You know, one of the other side stories with Brian Kelly being fired, and you got to give him hats off to Tommy Moffitt. If you're not familiar who Tommy Moffitt was, he is now the strength coach at Texas A&M. Second year in a row that Texas A&M has really bullied LSU around, especially in the second half. So Moffitt was one of the first guys that Brian Kelly fired when he got there from Notre Dame. Legendary strength coach. He was part of all 3 LSU national titles. Now think about that. All 3. Been there that long, and he gets fired by Brian Kelly. You got to think that he felt pretty good about a 35-7 shellacking in the second half by the Aggies.
Well, and you saw the LSU fans and the message boards and them reacting and saying this is just a number of personnel moves, whatever moves that Brian Kelly has made here that has led to this, air quotes, crumbling of this program.
Yep. But it started a confluence of things that's going to have a wide-reaching effect across the conference with Brian Kelly being ousted.
I think it was interesting, too, if you remember when he took that job, how many people did not come with him.
Well,
not saying he didn't have guys, but.
Well, you remember he tried like crazy to bring Marcus Freeman.
Yeah. And there were other staffers.
Yeah.
And he had to interview and try to find some tie-ins with the LSU fan base and some of the assistants that he hired. But I thought that it would work for Brian Kelly. But we were ridiculous for bringing up the notion that LSU would even entertain firing Brian Kelly at this stage in his career, Pat. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Wow. Was that ridiculous yesterday when that news came out? I did a little bit of a celebration.
A little dance?
A little bit.
Yeah, you were chastised by bringing his name up a few times.
It was so terrible. Was it just me? I thought did you get wrangled into that ridiculousness?
No, I didn't. Seems like you were the one that was front and center on that one. I'm usually the one getting in trouble, but this time it was all you.
Who's laughing now?
That would be you.
Yeah, that's right.
And the accountant for Brian Kelly. That's who's laughing.
Yeah, for sure.
Schools are currently on the hook for $169 million in buyouts so far this season. We haven't even made it to November. $169 million. Kelly, $53 million. Franklin, $49.7. Napier, $21.2. Gundy, $15. Sam Pittman, $9.8. Deshaun Foster, $6.4. Brent Pryce, $6 million. Trent Bray at Oregon State, $4 million. Trent Dilfer, $2.4 million at UAB. Jay Norvell, $1.5 million. So far, that comes to a grand total of $169 million schools are paying coaches not to come on campus, not to coach young people, stay away.
Not to lead young men.
$169 million. And we're not even to November.
Compound interest. Oh, God bless America.
We will continue with your calls, your texts. This is Reaction Monday on Jocks.
$12:33, 3-man front Reaction Monday. $12:34, 3-man front Reaction Monday. Get back to your phone calls. Beham Dog, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Man, I love being able to travel this great state. I've been down in Montgomery and tune in to 740 there. Then I turn on to YouTube and cover the gap, but it gets me back to Birmingham where I'm back on 94.5 and then all the way up to Huntsville to the ump. So, man, I love being able to pick you guys up all the way across the state.
We love it, too.
Yeah, so the coaching carousel, man, I don't know if I've ever been a part of something or being able to see something like what we're going to see. We currently see coaches. I'm throwing Arkansas and 3 teams that's looking for coaches. I don't know if Katrina's going to get the job or not. And it's not a far-fetched to say that Auburn, Kentucky, and maybe even South Carolina may part ways with their coaches. So we're going to have 6. Let's just say we have 6 openings. And let's just say Lane Kiffin goes to Florida. Well, now we still have 6 openings. And let's say the crazy part is some of the hottest coaches in America are in this conference. You got Drink, you got Clark Lee. And let's just say Clark Lee takes the Kentucky job. I don't know if he'd take the Kentucky job, but let's say he goes to LSU. Well, now you still have 6 openings. And I don't know if Vanderbilt what was Clark Lee doing before he became the Vanderbilt coach? He wasn't
defensive
the hot commodity.
coordinator.
Yeah, he worked for Brian Kelly. He was the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he was a coordinator. So this feeds even more so into what Vanderbilt's probably not going to go out and lure another coach to Clark Lee's caliber unless you find a diamond in the rough, and that's exactly what he was. So then they dip down into the coordinators. Then you have a Ryan Grubb, you have a DJ Durkin. So even though head coaches are not probably going to move from their teams, you still can have a lot of shakeup from teams like Alabama and even Georgia. I mean, I could see Mike Bobo maybe stepping back into the head coaching arena. This is going to be pretty crazy over the next couple of months of teams shuffling for coaches. It really is.
Yeah, it seems like now that with all the money that's being infused and paid into these programs, it's now finally just kind of coming to roost, and you're going to see more what used to seem like knee-jerk reactions from administration and from boosters to get it right, because you can only ask for people to come out of their pockets only so much with the same results and those not being wins.
Yeah, and so exactly, 100%. You have to be careful taking on a coaching job like at Vanderbilt, because it can be career ending. You look at what Jimbo Fisher, when he left Florida State, he was the hottest coach in America. Where's that guy coaching now after he took the big payday at Texas A&M and flopped on his face? And now is he even coaching? I don't think he's even coaching, is he?
Who, Jimbo?
Yeah.
No, he's on the ACC network.
So you got a hot coach coming in, or say a DJ. Let's just say Ryan Grubb. I'm sorry, Conrad. So you have Ryan Grubb that's going to step into the ring, and he's going to become the new Vanderbilt head coach. And he goes out and flops. We know the guy's talented. You know he's an elite play caller, but he goes out and flops. But that really hurts you going forward to possibly being a head coach, a stepping stone at somewhere big. So you got to be careful taking those jobs at like a Vandy or a Kentucky, because coaches like Clark Lee don't come around every year. Now I'll hang up and listen, guys. Love the show this morning. Talk to you later.
Thanks, B-Ham Dog. We appreciate the phone call.
What if, I'm just saying what if all of this time, Brian Kelly, they had a backroom deal with Penn State?
Maybe so. That would be Penn State. That would be a grand slam hire for Penn State.
And I say this because this whole conversation about negotiating a buyout when you've got it in black and white that you owe me $53.8 million, why is that a gray area? Like, why are they having a conversation about a negotiated buyout? You've already negotiated a buyout. That's called a contract.
So you're telling me there could be potential for mitigating circumstances where Penn State says, hey, you know what? You ain't got to pay all that. We really want him. And we would be so, so honored to have Coach Kelly.
And here's the funny triangle, because James Franklin gets a job somewhere. It's mitigated how much they have to pay James Franklin.
Yeah, they all save each other money.
Exactly. It's just one big triangle between those schools.
Well, and that's why I brought up the Brian Kelly to Penn State thing like 2 weeks ago. Now, granted, I thought that he would probably do that under his own volition, but it made a lot of sense for both schools, right? You get to clean your hands. You get a nice new landing spot if you're Brian Kelly, a change of scenery, and LSU gets what they ultimately wanted. But
you got to think ego is involved. Brian Kelly, I don't think there's any scenario where he thought that he would be fired mid-season.
No. And for it to happen as quickly as it did.
So I don't think that this is the swan song for Brian Kelly, where he goes, I'm going to take my millions and I'm going to just hang out with my family in South Beach and get a condo and start crashing events and doing stuff on social media. Brian Kelly feels like that he can win a championship. And finally, he thought he had all the things he needed at LSU. That didn't happen. Go to Happy Valley. Go play in the Big Ten conference you're very familiar with.
I think it would be a home run on both sides.
I do too.
This is what Brian Kelly was asked immediately after the game, after the loss to Texas A&M.
What level of concern do you have for yourself with the faith the program should have for you?
I mean, that's out of my hands. It's impossible for the head coach that's been here, for 4 years and 35 years of doing this, to think anything else but this is my responsibility, and we've got to get it turned around. And that's not my decision in terms of whether I'm here or not, but that's what I will do as a head coach that's been doing it for over 3 decades. When things are not going well from a football standpoint, the head football coach has to be agile enough and able to make those changes and find out what we need to do to get our football team to play better.
Well, he's right. There will be somebody else that will be trying to put this program back in the right direction. Listen, after the game, I don't know if he was pretty much reserved and realized that the axe was going to fall, because there have been some reports that Scott Woodward potentially pretty much told him he was fired after the game on Saturday. And then there was something about this committee and the governor that maybe Woodward was not potentially given the okay to do that. Maybe he jumped the gun a little bit. And so that's why all the stuff that was going on yesterday.
Well, I don't think it's ever a good sign if you lose a football game and the governor of your state immediately goes and says, hey, maybe don't raise ticket prices based on the performance we're getting on the field right now. That's probably not a good sign.
So John Sumrall is the number one candidate right now, according to Las Vegas. The best odds to be the next LSU head coach. Joe Brady at number 2, Lane Kiffin 3, Franklin 4, Drinkwitz 5. That's your top 5, according to Las Vegas.
And I said that I heard a little birdie that told me that Governor Landry, now he will not be the end-all be-all when making this next hire, but he is a really, really big fan of John Sumrall. So
the governor is.
The governor. Really big fan.
I think a lot of people
and now,
are big fans
well,
of John
at least from
Sumrall.
what I've seen it from LSU fans, and it's a very small, minute sample size, but that kind of that old line of thinking of we've got to go and swing for the fence and get a big name coach. As far as next tier guys, John Sumrall is the only name we're hearing about. His name was hot last year when there were job openings in Chapel Hill, in others. Now, he could have done what we've seen coaches do in the past, and you have that fallback year where you're not trending, and then all of a sudden your name gets lost in these conversations. No, he has not done that at all. He has gone out and won football games again at Tulane, with the only loss being to Ole Miss.
He's played this beautifully.
Yeah.
This is, dream scenario if you're a guy like John Sumrall. You might have your pick of the litter with some very good jobs.
There was interest, I believe, from the Arkansas front to John Sumrall. Obviously, Kentucky's going to be there, but I think John Sumrall knows and his representation knows this is going to be the year where he parlays what he's been able to do into a big-time job.
LSU is going to owe Brian Kelly $800,000 a month. Not bad.
No, that'd be nice.
$800K a month. Nick Saban makes $500K a year as an advisor to the University of Alabama. And Brian Kelly is going to make $800K a month not to coach LSU.
He could make more than $500,000 now if he wants to.
Brian Kelly to Penn State, I like it. Seems like a fit. I expect a press conference very, very soon. When do we get that press conference?
What, at Penn State?
Yeah.
I mean,
how long does the ink need to be dry on termination papers at LSU before you can sign the new deal?
I think LSU would pay for a private flight to get him to Happy Valley if he'll take that job.
Is Josh Shapiro going to be as involved with this as Governor Landry is in Louisiana?
For some reason, I think he's probably not.
You don't think so?
Nah, don't think so. He's a big Temple football fan, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just made that up.
They have a great coaching history at Temple.
Very much so.
Some legends.
Bruce Arians won a Super Bowl title. He was
That's right.
the head coach at Temple.
They just are a pipeline to the NFC South, aren't they?
Yes, they are. If you got a dangerous tree leaning over your house or maybe branches blocking your view, call Golston Tree Service today, 205-337-4443. Golston's licensed pros. They'll handle everything from trimming and pruning to full tree removals, fast, safe, and affordable. Don't wait until the next storm causes damage. Call Golston Tree Service. Golston offers 24-hour emergency tree service as well, 205-337-4443.
Shapiro's a Rochester guy, by the way.
Oh.
I don't even know if they have a football team. Oh, we'll continue. Your text, your phone calls here on Jocks.
What's wrong, Conrad? What's wrong? Why's he laughing?
I had honestly forgotten about that until you reminded me just now. So I think I'm having a better Monday than Matt Moscona is, though. So I'll be all right.
He was talking directly to you.
Yep.
He was.
Somebody got your flaps.
I have never been called that before. There's a first time for everything. I will say this: creative.
Yeah.
You don't hear that one every day.
No, you really don't.
No.
But when I heard him say it, I immediately thought of Conrad.
I would say I would say to him, I would say touche, because I heard what you just came up with to call that other fan base. So who is actually really more hurt?
Yeah. I was just glad that he found time to mention Alabama amidst all the Brian Kelly drama.
Because
Isn't that
he
amazing?
enjoys it. Yes.
He does enjoy it.
And your
It
day is coming.
It is. I don't know when it is, but it is
At some point,
in the future.
it will happen.
It will. And it will.
You have skated by mediocre football teams.
I know.
Missouri, South Carolina,
Vanderbilt.
Tennessee.
Very bold of him to bring up the Vanderbilt team that just beat LSU last week, though. So kudos to him for that one.
And you're getting all these good teams late in the season after they've been exposed.
Did you know that Alabama plays Eastern Illinois in November? It's a disgrace to college football. In November, when you're supposed to play tough teams, they're playing Eastern Illinois. It's embarrassing.
Alabama should do what's best for college football, not just what's best for the University of Alabama.
I think the football program should just shut down for a couple years because it obviously is causing a lot of problems for other fan bases. So they should just go away.
There was a point on Saturday that during that game and South Carolina was winning, I thought, now Alabama, they're going to come back and they're going to get this one. But if they don't, what will be the tone and tenor of Monday's show?
Different than it has been.
Well, no, it would be okay. So LSU fires a coach owing him $53 million.
Who are
owe
we getting?
DeBoer $69 million. Can we raise $16 million?
Yep.
Over what LSU did?
Mm-hmm. That is exactly where we would have been. I had people on social media that were tweeting me during the game and then afterwards responding to it, hey, sorry, I was overreacting. Because people were not handling that game very well.
So wins over currently ranked teams in college football. The University of Alabama with 4. Georgia and Texas Tech with 2. There are 20 teams with 1 win against a ranked opponent. The following teams that are ranked in the top 25 have 0. Not 1 win against a currently ranked team. Oregon, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Missouri, Michigan, Houston, Utah, and Memphis. All those teams ranked in the top 25, they do not have 1 single win against a currently ranked team in the top 25.
It's an interesting stat.
And Bama's not playing again before the first college football playoff rankings come out.
Correct.
So the general feeling is that Alabama is probably going to be ranked ahead of Texas A&M, and I know people like John Mack is probably
they're furious.
Yeah, getting ready to text in.
Well, they were mad this morning that I brought up that if you look at the odds makers in Vegas, they all have Alabama. It's a slight favorite, but as the favorite to win the SEC right now. That does not mean they're going to win the SEC. It just means that the people who make the odds feel they have the best shot. And guess what? If they play Texas A&M, we'll find out because they'll play each other, and the winner will be the best team in the SEC.
Because, I mean, even if you want to ding Alabama about losing at Florida State, which that's a bad loss.
It is.
It's a bad loss.
Looks worse every week.
Yep. But you can't deny the fact that Alabama's got 4 ranked wins.
Well, and the funny thing with Texas A&M people, too, is, look, what they did to LSU the other night was very impressive. Absolutely, 100% credit for that. But they're mad. Like, they beat LSU so bad that it knocked them out of the rankings, so now it doesn't make their resume look as impressive, and they're upset about that. Because, like you said, you have 1 win against a ranked opponent right now. It's a good win against Notre Dame, but not the 4 that Alabama has or the 2 that Georgia has.
Yeah. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we will talk to the former coach of the UAB Blazers, former head coach of the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, Bill Clark, will be along this program. We'll get his feelings over the weekend's musings, what took place in the world of college football. At 1:30, Coach Hugh Freeze, he will be on this program via his weekly teleconference and weekly press conference down on the Plains. We will see if there's a change at quarterback. We'll see if there's any other issues or personnel moves on the football team. Auburn gets the big win at Arkansas over the weekend. Would you like to share your laughter?
Well, John Mack has probably sent about 40 text messages into our radio station today, but this last one was funny. He said, "Hey, Conrad, that fat boy Proctor did some elite running of the football. Can we name his plays now Timber?" I think that's funny. Okay. I'll give you that one. Very unhappy that people are viewing Alabama and Texas A&M as equal right now, though. Not happy with that.
A&M looks good.
They look great.
Appear to be getting better week by week.
I would agree.
And given Missouri and Texas, the only two,
Texas A&M should be undefeated at the end of the year.
this is your year, Aggies.